Let's go.
Wednesday afternoon.
And you don't get that much coverage from there. You know, you don't. I don't think it's somewhere where. I mean, I've seen in the news where they're talking about the attendance has been meager. Sometimes 300 people would turn up to see a football match. I mean, you don't get that atmosphere, do you? It's like going to.
No.
Yeah, you don't get the atmosphere. I know it's a big stadium, you're being paid big money, but then there's about 300 people just coming to see you. Not even up to 5,000 or that. I mean, that should count, because the more the crowd, the more of publicity you get. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So the more of a sort of publicity that you get. So you stay in the public eye, don't you? And then the news will talk about you, and then that would sort of boost your profile a little bit. But going to where you have only 300 people watching you, or maybe more, I don't know, but definitely less than 1,000 coming to see you. I mean, how much of a noise could they possibly make?
I mean, the thing is, I think the Saudis, their ambition is to establish soccer, as they would call it, I expect, in their kingdom. They want football because they see the effects of football around the world, and you'd have to say particularly the Premier League, the effect it has. It's the most watched sport in it right around the world. That people watch the Premier League matches, every Premier League match each week. They're watched by large numbers. And I suppose Saudis, they want a piece of the cake, really. But the reality is, as you've indicated, the vast majority of players who go there, now this sounds a horrible expression, but they're putting themselves out to grass in a way, because they usually are older people, older players, usually pretty good players, because the Saudis, I guess, would only pay the huge money they pay to the better players. I mean, that stands to reason. But they would normally be the older players. This dRem is obviously an exception to this. And it may be, you see, I think footballers at the end of their career, most Premier League footballers are very rich anyway, multimillionaires, but they probably see it as a way of, you know, guaranteeing the financial security of their families almost for generations to come by the huge money they receive. It cannot be inspiring for a footballer who's come from a top club in this country or in another country, playing in front of, you know, as you know, I went to see Palace play Manchester United at Old Trafford on Sunday, and I'm sort of surprised you didn't start with that result, if I'm strictly honest, Cuz, but there we are. We'll talk about that. But again, there were over 70,000 people there. And it's actually, although it literally leaks that stadium, and I think they're making decisions as to whether they're going to just rebuild it or move it slightly up the road a bit and build a whole new stadium. That's going to be a big decision for them. But it is actually a fabulous stadium. I mean, actually, a quick question for you. You don't really go to football much, do you? But okay, I won't ask you the question, but Manchester United, Old Trafford, and Liverpool are the only two grounds. I will ask you a question. Are the only two grounds in the Premier League which don't have what?
I don't know.
Bearing in mind they're two of the best. I mean, Liverpool Stadium, I think, is still the new stand there, is still the biggest, highest one in Europe. Well, they both, interestingly, I've always found it strange because I've been to both a few times. They don't have a screen, let alone one at either end. Every other club in the league and in other divisions has a screen. So it can show replays. It will tell you when VAR is coming on. It shows you the score.
Soft family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom, Dr. Glad.
So it can show replays. It will tell you when VAR is coming on. It shows you the score and the timing. There was a small kind of thing with the score at the one end of the ground, probably possibly both ends, not a screen though. So that's strange, really, that they just don't have that. I mean, arguably, there's not anywhere, obviously, to put it. If they put it somewhere, it might take out some of the crowd seats. But anyway, it's a tremendous atmosphere, tremendous stadium. It really feels like, in a way, the home of football, almost more than Wembley. But yeah, it's a great place, and I hope they maintain that atmosphere about it. You know, I mean, sometimes opposing fans, they say, "Oh, there's not so much atmosphere at Old Trafford," but I disagree with that. The times I've been there, yeah, I mean, when they're roaring their team on, it's an emotional. You feel it, but equally, I mean, us Palace fans, I forget how many of us there were. Was it 5,000, 7,000, whatever? And we were far more noisy, really, than the home fans, and we would be because Palace got 2 good goals.
Yeah.
But it's a great stadium. It is, and a good experience for any fan to go to. But yeah, it's they're obviously going to be in a process of rebuilding. I think under Amurim, I quite like the bloke. I think the fans do, actually, but he's got a rebuilding job to do because I think Manchester United has always been they're a good team with some very good players. In fact, they've got some excellent players, but it's a bit like they're not really gelling as a team. You've got great individuals, and I mean, to me, their best player, I mean, going off at a tangent here, but I think is Bruno Fernandes. He's the captain, isn't he? And everything revolves around him. He's a master craftsman. He's a master footballer. People like him make football look easy. And any great player, well, you think, oh, I could do that. And I've played football, and I know it's not as easy as it looks. But the great players make it. He's always got a pass option. He's like a conductor of an orchestra. You can see he demands the ball, and then he'll tell someone where to go and all this stuff. It's a joy to watch him. And even before Saturday's game, one of the things for me, much as I wanted Palace to win, and they did, one of the things was I wanted to just see, because I've not seen him for a while, to play in the flesh. I wanted to see him because you just see a master footballer at work. And then I almost feel a bit sorry for the guy because although he's got good players around him, they're not playing as a team. And I guess this is the challenge of the manager now to try and make that happen. I think obviously Rashford has gone, hasn't he? Rashford, did he go to Villa in the end?
He's gone to Villa, yeah.
He's gone to Villa, yeah.
On loan.
So so that
South Family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday. So join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom.